Okay.
Carrie has got her workout going on, so she's definitely finishing strong. It's an inspiration for us all for sure. But I just want to welcome everybody to the Zoom room. This is the last Zoom room for the semester, and hope everybody's having a great summer semester.
Mhm.
And we're just going to kind of do this in a roundtable fashion. So with our special guests, Laura Rice from Student Success Center and Carrie from the library. We're so excited that the two of you could join us to give some students some tips to motivate them to finish the semester strong. So we can just start by each of you giving us some tips or giving some advice or what you think would help students finish the semester strong. So if we could start with Laura.
All right. Okay, good. My mic's on. Sorry, I had to turn my phone sound off. Changed up my background because I'm in the new SSC location and it just looks kind of barren here right now. So this is in front of my grandma's house in California instead.
Wow.
So
Nice.
You're next door?
Yeah. to Trio, yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, all kinds of changes over here. So I threw a little I guess PDF file into the chat if you wanted to open it up. I'll try to share my screen, kind of try to stay on track. So when is the last day of classes?
The 9th.
The 9th? Oh, okay. All right. Whew. We really are almost there. So let me do a little quick screen share. Oh, I can't share my screen. That's okay though. This is more for me to remember my little points here. So one of the most important things, especially in the short semester, is to know if you have a final, and if so, when that final is. One of my suggestions is don't ask the instructor until you look at the syllabus. That can drive some instructors nuts because you're supposed to know if it's in the syllabus. So check your syllabus, and if you see the final in there or that there's not a final, excellent. If that question remains unanswered, check through Blackboard. And then if you still don't see anything, ask the instructor, because finals can be, I remember I had some classes where the final was worth 50% of your grade. So if you didn't do the final, well, guess what? The highest grade you could get in the class is 50% and you do not pass. So very important to know when the final is, if there is one. Not all summer classes have finals, or they might have like an altered type of final project. And knowing how much it is worth is also very important. So check out that rubric. And in general, I say always save your syllabus to your computer, because once the semester's over, it's off of Blackboard. And if you aren't sure about your final grade breakdown, it's really great to be able to fall back on your syllabus with the rubric, and how things are graded and how much it was worth. Because if you were to have to appeal your grade, well, there's your paper trail. That's the syllabus you were going off of. So just that stuff's just helpful for in life too. Always keep your documentation so it's right there. And I will say too, if you can help it, don't plan to work during your final time. If you have a job, I know a lot of our students had to pick up jobs, and I know that some of the jobs that they're working, it's very hard to get time off, but just do the best you can to try to either get that time off, or if that's impossible, try to talk with your instructor like now, like tomorrow, to let them know that you're not available at that time, and to see if they would do any adjustments for you. So let's say they open it only at a certain time on Blackboard, kind of discussing with them if they could negotiate a different time with you. So, because it's way easier to do it a week before instead of the day of, because guess what? They're not sitting there waiting for an email to come in saying, oh, I can't take the final today. Can you help me out here? So plan ahead the best you can. I know life happens, but, and this is a short, smushed semester, but do your best there. If there's a study guide, try to use it. Trying to fit in some mindfulness and meditation for your stress levels. I feel like such a fraud when I talk about this because I'm so bad at mindfulness and meditation. I need to get back to my apps on that. But Relax Light is one that students have recommended before. And if anybody has other app suggestions, feel free to shout them out or throw them into the chat. There was an app I was using. It was something like Sleep Stories or something. I was having a hard time sleeping for a while. Well, they had such boring stories and they'd just play for like 30, 45 minutes and they would knock me out. So that's been great too. And then lately I've been reading before bed, so that having that as a routine is also helpful. So shout out to book club helping me make myself get on a reading schedule. Even if I can only read like a little bit, it's still something helpful for not only just having a low commitment hobby, and that it's not something stressful to do, but also, you know, it's good for your health to have a bedtime routine. Planning your study space is important just in general, not just for the end of the semester. So if you need to be somewhere with good Wi-Fi, or if you need to be somewhere without Wi-Fi, whatever it is that works for you. And final projects and papers, utilize the Writing Center and then blackwordstutor.com if you have drafts going on. The sooner you write your first draft, the sooner you can use those. And you never know when you might need a writing sample for later. So don't always just write papers to write papers. Do your best work if you can manage it, and you may need it later. I know I had to submit I think it was a 10 or 20 page writing sample for graduate school. And so it helped that I had like a thesis paper to submit for that. And I just had to do some minor tweaking to get it in there. Let's see. I say this a lot to my students. Plan to use some of your weekends. Sometimes you're going to have to say no to social commitments. Don't feel bad about it. Nobody else is earning your grades on your transcript. If there's something you really want to go to, you're going to have to manage your time to squish it into that week before. So keep that in mind too, that you're not going to be able to make every social event. You're not going to be able to make every ceremony. The best you can do is try to plan to have that weekend free. And it can be really tough. I remember when I was going to school in St. Louis, I'd take the train back to Lawrence just so I could do my homework on the way and be able to go to something. And then I'd ride the train on the way back to either sleep or finish up what I was working on, in addition to making myself go study and get ahead of the game during the week. So, and then try to sleep. I'm one of those people who has to wear earplugs and a sleeping mask. So if you need to do that, do that. My dog's snoring, I think I do too. So it helps. And then my last tip I'm gonna say here is be aware of your GPA at stake. I really like using this GPAcalculator.net to figure out either what my goal semester GPA is, or you can actually even use that same website for figuring out your course grade or what it's projected to be, but do not obsess over it. Just check it out, keep it in the back of your mind, but don't spend so much time being anxious over what your grade's gonna be that you just lose sight of the class and you freeze yourself into anxiety, because that can be very dangerous. I've seen it, I've done it. Don't do that. So just check it out, see what numbers you come up with, but don't get stuck in an anxiety wheel, because that's no fun. And those are my main tips. Any questions or scenarios, horror stories? I'll share a horror story. So my first, definitely take this opportunity to tell you what not to do. And I guess this wouldn't happen so much in an online environment, but my first semester of my freshman year, I stayed up so late studying, and it was for my humanities final. Intro to the Humanities was like one of the first classes we needed. All freshmen had to take it for 3 semesters, some rendition of Intro to Humanities. So I stayed up so late. It was like 5 a.m. I slept in and I was an hour late to my final. And luckily it was a 3-hour final, but I didn't do as well on it as I could have. I didn't have enough time. It was kind of embarrassing to walk in there. So I guess in the online environment, like you would be the last one logging into Zoom and be like, wow, look at her and her bushy hair. Like, what the heck? So I could have aced that class if I had better time management there instead of saving it all to the end. So I did not finish strong that semester, but I finished stronger other semesters from lessons learned. Now go ahead and turn it over to Library Carrie.
You had a lot there. You had a lot there. And we are here to finish strong. But you know what? I think a lot of the people that have been coming in here, we've had 2 in here today. We don't have huge numbers, but they have been repeatedly coming in whenever they can manage their family. They were more family people coming in. And then we have procrastinators that are coming in. And Doris and I were talking earlier about, you know, what is it that people need right now? And it's simply to start. Because we had even a student that was working, and it so happened that their teacher came in yesterday and she said, I haven't seen this person before and they're in my class. So really grabbing hold of people. And I know none of you on this call are those people, but there are some folks that that have not even like gone in or spoken up for themselves to say that you need help with something. And if you're not getting an answer from your teacher or you're getting a no, and I know Trio does everything they can to help you, please contact us. We're still hearing of people that don't have laptops or just your general help. But Doris and I thought number 1 was to start. The second one was develop a team, and that would be having someone else that's there. And I always have this stick in my office for Dr. Gipp when we used to do the accountability, the accreditation work for the library. And it was always a joke of, this was actually my weave stick that says it on here, that to get me to work. And if you have a friend that actually looks at you and tells you, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Because you can come up with, you can just try to fool yourself how creative you are to procrastinate, and you need someone else. Sometimes you just have to tell them, tell me to focus. Tell me to focus. I use my phone to focus, and I'll set it on a 3-minute timer. I'll start my work, and that timer goes off. I will find myself doing something else. So I set it again for 3 minutes, go back to starting my work, and then I'll go back to checking the email. And I honestly have hit it probably 8-9 times before I really get into my groove of studying. But using the timer and having some kind of an accountability, if it's that sound going off, that's what I really like to use. Laura mentioned this earlier, having that workspace available, you know, with the lighting that you want, with that you're sitting up, that you're not sitting on a couch. You know how to fool yourself. And you can fool yourself by procrastinating, and you can fool yourself into production too. But I didn't have as many tips as our Laura Rice did. But those are the tips that I had from Doris and I. They weren't so many like citations, you know, any of the help. I think each one of you that are on here know that you're welcome to contact us at any time, and we'll see your message at some point, you know, within probably about, if it's the middle of the night, it'll be 4 hours later, but we'll be there to help you. I know you got this. Keep going. So where was I at? Like 81, 82.
That's awesome,
Are
Carrie.
you sure that's not your Kago stick?
I loved it. Right when it started recording, pick a high number and start counting.
That's so awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you both so much. Carrie, is the library open? Can students come in and study?
Don't ask me that.
Okay.
I was told that the library is open to those people that are working in here.
Okay.
So if you are asked, it's like, I work in there.
Gotcha. So what about?
And so our hours are from, let's see, tomorrow is Thursday, so 8 till 7. And then Friday is 8 to 5. And we don't have Sunday hours, so we're going on Fight Club. So call me though. If you just need that space, let me know, because I've opened it for students on a Saturday night, or we had artists in here, so they were in here late on Sunday. And I hate to be like that, but I was told to have it closed.
Okay. Well, that's good information.
But we make it happen.
Right. Always.
I'm not going to say no to a student.
Right, always. So if a student is working on a paper and is having some problems, maybe with a journal article or finding resources, can they email call you?
That is so fun. You can message me, you can Snapchat me, you can do whatever, however you need to contact me. And if you look on the library website, you're going to see my cell phone number on there, and that's as the main number of the library.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's also good information, because I know that at this time, as we're wrapping up the semester and getting final papers done, that sometimes students can get stumped in those areas where resources from the library. So
and sometimes, you know, the teacher is not grading the fact that you are finding the sources yourself. They're finding that you have an appropriate source. Does that make sense? Or that you can, you have your appropriate source and you can find the information from that source.
awesome.
So it's not an information literacy task of, I want you to find this, but I can help you find those, and then I can help you interpret those, but you still have to, you know, do the accountability of what that instructor wants.
So in terms of books, let's say that I find a source on the website and it's a book and I want to check it out.
If it is, you could come by and pick it up. We have a student coming by and picking up a book today. And we had somebody yesterday request a book. And so I purchased it on Amazon, and it should be in on Thursday or Friday. And that one was not available in an ebook. Today I put in probably about $6,700 of ebooks that were specializing on residential schools, on historical trauma, you know, some of our AIS subjects, and having a baby, and depression, and, you know, just a lot of the psychology topics that students previously researched on. But we handpick some of our ebooks, not just get the collections that are given to us. So we have a whole bunch of new Canadian residential school things.
Awesome. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
those great tips. Does anybody have any questions, or can some students provide any kind of insight on some of the things that either Carrie or Laura covered? Have you tried some of those things? Is there something else that you want to offer students in the way of keeping motivated to finish the semester strong, or anything that you've done in the past for finals week?
Well, I can bring up a little bit of stuff. Can you hear me okay, first of all? Yes? Okay. Everything that Laura said is true. And I got a lot of tips from Trio, from Carrie, and some instructors, just tell me how to keep my records straight, and, make sure you keep all your test scores, and, always have a hard copy. That's what they told me. So I ended up with this huge box. And then I started downloading it to those little flash drives. And the thing about that, my first year, I said, these little flash drives pretty good, but I lost one. And oh my God, it's like losing your purse or having your purse stolen. You know what I mean? I mean, what do you do if you don't back up your information? It had everything on there because I thought it would be easy just to put everything on the flash drive, but when I lost it, I felt like my whole world just got torn in half, and I didn't know what to do. So with that, nobody could help me. I didn't know what to do. I was asking everybody if they've seen it. It was almost like a lost puppy, reward. But other than that, it's devastating when you cannot supply something you need that's on that flash drive, or a record like the syllabus. You're going to need it, to prove that you were in that class. If you were to get a job or something, they said, did you take this class? You said, yes, I have a syllabus right here, or whatever. So what can you do besides pick yourself up and start over and just be positive, and then really be careful what you do every day? Because I don't know how I lost it. It must have fell on my jacket, just putting my hand in a coat. That's how simple it was. I didn't do anything wrong. It was just a misfortune, and it's going to happen. Let's say you're taking a test and all of a sudden your internet goes out, things like that can happen, and you have to pick yourself up, because there might not be, great people like you that you can reach out to real quick and tell them, oh, this happened to me. They feel good when they tell somebody. But I think that people, when they start to realize who they are and how they can pick themselves up and keep going, like, you got to have your little stick here, you go back to work. It's true. It's true. You have to have something to get you back on track. So what I do is I do take a break from here, my little world of technology, and I just started walking again, or I'll go play with the hose outside or something, something just that's gonna just leave worries or stress here. And then when I'm refreshed again, boy, I can get in and start writing, and just things just start coming to me. And the thing about it too is, if you're not confident, you can always send it to somebody that can proofread and give you a little bit of tips, and send it in. You can be confident. But if the instructor still doesn't like it, don't blame yourself. It's not, I don't think it's you. You don't, nobody's perfect. I know that. Because even just a little text to my sister, she can read it out of context and then say, you know what, you said this. I said, I was being funny. I didn't really mean it. I mean, just the, the back and forth conversation, the communication, it can go off track, So if you can stay positive, and I've told her this, stay positive, I'm what kind of person I am. I'm not, you're taking it out of context to where you're taking the meaning a different way, and that's what happens. So when you take your final, it's the same. It's the same. I have a final coming up, and he only gives us 100 minutes, and he wants 5 essays on different subjects, and you're just like, and almost you can't even proofread it. You just have to, just put it in and send it in and see how you do. And it's frustrating, so I wait till the last minute, because if I start now, I mean, like, he gives you a whole week to prepare so you can read all the material, so you can write those essays. You have to really know the material. It's crazy. And then I wait till the last, I guess, 100 minutes that he's given us, because it's a deadline, and I do great when I'm like right at that fine line, and that's my technique. And because I build myself up to it and say, I got to do this, I'm not going to have an excuse. So I get in there and I just do it, and I feel okay with it. So if you see something there like, don't do that, tell me, say, Sherry, I have a suggestion that works too for me. Somebody says, don't wait till the last second, or, I mean, that feedback, if you can have feedback from your friend or, your family, it feels good. So I always try to give feedback to anybody. And like Carrie, my first time meeting her, and I didn't even know how to do a PowerPoint. And it was so simple when she did it. I could, because it was so foreign to me. She taught me like that. And I couldn't believe, I was so amazed. And I started playing with it, and I was like making all kinds of crazy stuff. And I like the way she teaches. I like her communication. She can, bring it across, and it's true, she can help. And then with you, Lori, you're real brilliant too. You're very smart. And I like, you are, I can't believe it. I mean, I can believe it. And just talking to you, getting to know you, I'm like, this lady knows what she's doing. I'm really glad that you became part of the family at Trio. And Ron too, he's my retention specialist, and man, we can talk for hours, and he's just like, so like, he has that humility, and he knows how to communicate, and he knows how to help you to pursue what you need. And he's a really good listener. Sometimes I just need that, just somebody to listen. And I go on and on and on and on. And then when I met Laura and I've seen her in action, oh my gosh, she's a computer whiz. She's done. I mean, I don't know. She's got one of those computers that just works by itself. She just goes, okay, here you go. And I'm like, dang, that's what I want to do. Just get in there and go, and you're done, And it's like, man, everyone there at Haskell, they're brilliant. I think you guys are placed in the right place. And to help people like me, that took forever to finally get what I need to finish school, I'm really happy and I'm excited about it. I had a lot of avenues, and I did do a lot within my life, and I made a lot of money doing it. And now that I look back, I'm like, you know what? It's not about the money. It's about your knowledge, how you carry yourself, what you have, your wisdom, it's that, and then I've been looking at a lot of, with my sociology class that I've taken before, it's just like, that's sociology in general. Man, you can have a lot of answers, from things that you've been thinking about. And so I'm really attracted to that. And I'm trying to apply it to my life somehow, but not to be a sociologist, but just pulling information from there. So anyway, with that being said, I know that you have to have people in your life, and you have to listen to these lectures and everything that you guys have to give. And because if you don't hear correctly what they're saying, you won't learn it until later. So it's best just to learn it now, what somebody's told you, what you've told me. And I wrote it down, just things that like a bell. And I wrote it down. And you know what? I don't know how many times I wrote this down, the same, and it seems like it's brand new again, the same advice, the same. I get it through Trio every year, when you guys have your meetings, and then it's the same. But even today, what you're telling me, it's brand new again. So I really appreciate it from what you guys really care about finishing strong. And that's correct, because you only get really one chance at it, you know, when it does come down to it for finals. It comes down to you and the professor also, you know. I remember my father died during the week of finals one year, and I came back and school was already closed, and I didn't think I was going to take any of the finals, but I just told myself, you know what, just do it. So what if you don't, you know, don't pass it, you know, just complete it. That way, you know, you did it. I came back and it was on a Friday. They were graduating. I went to every single one of my instructors and I took the exams. And I was getting a really good grade. Like you said, 50% of your grade. I was getting A's. And by the time I finished the final, I got a C out of the class. And when I look back at my transcript, I'm like, holy, that's the only ones I see. And it reminds me, you know, it's like nobody knows what you went through at that point in time. But I'm okay with it because I tried my best, you know, and if to other people look at it and I don't know what they think, but I know, you know, and I know I'm worthy, or I know, you know, these different things, you know, they can happen. So grades, if you put your all into it, that's what counts, I think. And always just keep on going, you know, and you guys are amazing. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. And I really appreciate you guys being in my life, you know, for the time I've been there over the semesters. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you. And you know, I don't think there's anybody on the in the Zoom room that isn't just beaming with pride right now. So
Right.
proud of you and everything that you've accomplished. And it was so great to get to know you. That's like some really, really good advice, especially from a student that's kind of already gone through the whole process, right? And just in how that, all the tips that Laura and Carrie gave, and how that actually really played out in your particular situation. So I really appreciate your comments and encouragement for all the other students. I'm wondering, some of the things that you said kind of made me think about if any other students would want to comment on any obstacles that they have come across in the last few semesters that they've been in that have prevented them from finishing strong. Like the study guide thing that Laura brought up was always a big deal for me when I was a student. Like hardly anybody ever gave a study guide. And so you're kind of out there just, you know, kind of blowing in the wind, like, okay, well, what is it exactly that you want me to know? And so I just wonder if anybody gives out study guides anymore.
Oh, you mean as far as professors
Yeah.
or just in general? Yeah, they do. They do. But usually none of it is on the test.
I know.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there anything that any student wants to talk about right now that you feel like might be an obstacle to keep you from finishing out the semester on a good note? Or does any students have any good advice for anybody out there? We're recording the session, so other students that can watch and will be able to draw from the advice that you might have.
I think just joining things has been what's helped me be successful. And I don't know where I would have been without it. Not only does becoming part of something on campus help make you part of campus and want to be successful in that environment because you feel like you have a place. But there also there's a lot of experience with those connections when you're part of a group. There's going to be seniority and people who you can look to help guide you through some of the challenges as a student when you're able to engage with peers. The organizations I've been part of whether it's the Indian leader, starting up the Haskell hand weavers, and some of the other peripheral groups that I did things with. I think they really led me to success and community with Haskell.
Thanks, Jared. That's some awesome advice. I mean, there's lots of studies that even show that the peers that you have connections with, like really honestly, you guys are probably going to get the best results from each other. I mean, even when you're in work groups, like in class, where they assign you group work, everybody hates group work. But honestly, there's a lot of unintended outcomes that result from that. So if you're working in a group in one class, you kind of make friends. And then also, there's a lot of other things that can happen as a result of that, like advice on, like somebody could say, well, I'm in the NAC club, and maybe you have an interest in that, or just anything else on campus, especially somebody who has been on campus for a while and might give you some insight on what professor or classes to take. And so I know that helped me too when I was a student. That's how I kind of got involved in clubs. I was assigned group work, and then I got to know some people and they were talking about their clubs that they were in. So, but yeah, that engaging with your peers is definitely a help and can help you finish strong too. Michaela, were you going to say something?
I'm kind of just building off of what Sherry and Jared mentioned about like having a support system. I think it's very important, especially when we get towards the end of any semester, when things start picking up and you really start feeling that pressure, to be able to identify different people in your life and how they fit into your support system. Because everybody has different qualities and different characteristics. So if I want to go be outside, there's a certain friend that I'll hit up. If I want to go have coffee with someone, there's someone else. There's different parts of my support system I can do different activities with, and it can be a short amount of time, but that quality connection right there, it really provides a lot of relief of that stress. And like unknowingly, like you start to vent a little bit, get it off your chest. And to me, it always feels better to say it out loud and let it be known rather than bottle it up and let it just build. And then pretty much prioritizing your time is a big thing too. So if you're feeling stressed out, it's probably not best to continue that binging on all of your studying right there. You should probably take a break, go get a snack, go for a walk, go do something. So I try to prioritize those little breaks by, I think it's called like the Pomodoro technique or something like that, where you set like 20 minutes on, 5 minutes off, like for short minute breaks and then a long minute break. So just trying to focus on time management, identifying my support system, and especially learning when to lean on them. I mean, for me, it puts me in a vulnerable state to kind of tell them like, this is what I'm feeling, but it's also empowering to know, okay, well, I let it out. They're kind of giving me that validation, like your feelings are valid, and what you're thinking, what you're processing is, you're doing it in a healthy way rather than just being destructive, I guess, and criticize. Because I feel sometimes in previous semesters, I've gotten really critical of myself when it came to this time, like my GPA is going to go down. So like how Laura mentioned the GPA calculator, I use that. And so if I get this grade, I'll be sitting here. But if I do this much, my state of mind will be better, but my grades will still balance out. I won't be frustrated and stressed out by getting this A, but a B is not going to kill me and I'll feel better personally. So it's kind of give and take. I mean, education is very important, but so is our self-awareness and how we take care of ourselves right now, especially. I know everybody's probably tired from Zooming all the time, being online, and it kind of does something to you. I feel like I enjoy seeing everybody's faces, but I do miss gathering in the Trio room and seeing everybody. So it's kind of hard to try and get adjusted, but it's great to be able to look forward that might be a possibility this upcoming semester. So even though things aren't going how you would like them to go right now, it's always good to try and find something positive to look forward to. So look for that silver lining, even though it feels like, okay, the semester's coming quick. I don't know if I'm going to do great. Summer is coming. You have another semester to try and fix things. Communicate with your professors. Let them know what's going on, especially if you have something very stressful and big going on in your life. I think that's the most important time to communicate.
Awesome. Thank you. That's really, really good advice. I think that we spend a lot of time, especially those of us that work in student services, trying to help students that are struggling, that we forget that our star students also have a lot of struggles that they deal with in the way of being too hard on themselves. Like for in my experience in working with students who are high achievers, they're sometimes can't get out of their own way because they are too hard on themselves, or they worry a lot about their grades and spend a lot of time in that space rather than like Michaela said, with the self-care and spending time working on just a balance of academics and your personal life. And that's really important too, especially during finals week. I know Laura talked about that scenario where she was up all night and waited till the last minute. You can't really do that, right? And still be okay. Like, it's finals week, so I know some people think, well, I'll just stay up all night to do this paper or to study for this test, but those aren't really good strategies, especially when you're actually taking a test. You can have what they call brain freeze and not be able to retrieve all the information if you're not studying periodically throughout this semester. So, and plus it's not good for your health to stay up all night, right? And not good for your mental health for sure. So, and I really loved what Carrie talked about too, and when her and Doris talked about just start. Like I always say when I'm talking to students, just do it, right? Because that's half the battle. If you can just start it, like getting motivation, there's a certain momentum that you get when you just start a project, and then you kind of gain that momentum as you go. And the next thing you know that you're finished, or you've knocked a good chunk out, or you have a rough draft, or things like that. So those are such great points. I'm so grateful that Laura and Carrie joined us, and so grateful for everybody's input and good words. Does anybody else have any questions or anything that they want to add? Ron, or yes, Sherry.
Oh, sorry. Ron was going to say something. Where's he at? Is he on there? Is he still in there in the chat? I don't see his face. Anyway, I don't I don't know if you guys have some I have this issue or problem, I don't know what to call it, but I broke my glasses a while back and I don't have the funds to actually go and get myself some glasses. And so I just been trying to see what I can without them. And I was thinking, the whole time I was there at Haskell, nobody's ever talked to me about how, with my, my shortcomings, like, where do I get my eyes checked? I know Haskell does it, but sometimes they say they don't have, an eye person, or they don't have a clinic for it anywhere. You got to save up some money to go do that. Anyway, well, I was thinking about, man, I wonder if somebody would actually check on somebody, like almost you have to be their mother and say, did you get your eyes checked? Why do you get your migraines? Why do you have headaches? Or why do you feel the way you feel? You know what I mean? I mean, get down to that source. And usually it's because they can't see, but it doesn't dawn on them. That's the reason why, because some people can get discouraged just because of that, not be able to see the board. And I remember I was in kindergarten and I couldn't see the board and I couldn't read. My face would be right in the book because I couldn't see the words, and the teacher say, Sherry, lift your head up. We can't hear you, and I was like, I didn't know I needed glasses. Well, anyway, I was wondering, do you guys know of anything as far as, me getting a pair of glasses? And I haven't gone anywhere. I mean, I know I can probably go to the Indian Health Services somewhere, but that's like 200 miles away. Somebody said something about online. There was something you can get online too, like a prescription or a pair of glasses. Is that true? Do you guys know? I mean, I'm just asking.
Me and Lori can help you.
Oh, okay, cool.
How old's your prescription?
Oh gosh, it has to be 2 years because I've been here a year and I got it when I was still there. I had the prescription.
Okay. If
So-
you happen to have that prescription or can get a hold of it, I'd say a for now measure, if you're pressed on funds, is you could use that old prescription and use it on Zenny.com. That's like my favorite one. I am a glasses addict. These are from Zenny, and they were, and usually even with insurance, I'll end up paying like $250, but these were like 65.
Oh my God.
And usually they have a coupon, so I'd say sign up for their coupons. And then if you, in terms of getting a new prescription, there are some, I guess, community-based programs that'll sometimes, Lawrence used to have one, but you might look into Salvation Army as one of them, because our Salvation Army in Lawrence used to provide a eye doctor appointment and a pair of glasses for free. So I would imagine other places have that. I can't recall the name of the other one, so I'm not sure what type of a program it is. And I'd say the lowest cost place to get a prescription, if you have one anywhere in your area, is called America's Best.
Yeah.
That one could get you the prescription, and then of course you can get your glasses from anywhere.
When I used to work, I had really good insurance, you know, and all these years I didn't have to worry about it. But now, you know, being a student, I'm on the poor farm. So
Been there.
yeah. So I can't wait to get back to work, and no worries after that. So right now, I'm like, dang, I'm trying to see. Just kidding. And it's not that bad. I can actually drive without my glasses, but yeah, I was just for future references for anybody that needs, you know, has the same problem as I do.
And I'll say for anyone in, oh, go ahead.
I set them down on the couch and somebody sat on them. And I was like,
ooh,
they broke.
No.
Yeah.
And I'll say for anyone in Lawrence, Haskell's currently referring out because they don't have an eye doctor, but they'll refer you to a local place and you can get your eye exam for free. And then you'll get that prescription.
Okay, I should be back in Lawrence in a couple of weeks. So
shoot, call now and use your sister's address.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do.
Didn't hear that from me though.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So
Jared,
I have a different question, switch gears.
Okay.
It's about on-campus housing. So I have some students who've asked me questions, not sure really how to answer, and I only got to live on campus for a little while before the pandemic because I started in the fall of 2019. And I'm a little fuzzy on what that process was to begin with. So one of the students is new, has never lived on campus because they came to Haskell virtually. And they were trying to find the online housing application and get all of that stuff in and ready for the fall, and knowing they had housing. Found the form, but do they turn that in ahead of time? I thought I just like handed it to them when I got to campus at the dorm. I don't really remember what that was like. And then since I moved over to Winona over break, I remember having to do stuff ahead of time. Like, what was that? What might it look like for this fall? What should we be telling these students who've never been to Haskell, how to navigate housing?
Here's what I've heard is that there's going to be a new form that's going to be like it sounds like a link will be emailed out to students. I expected it to be this week or next week based on how they were talking. And that's going to be the only one they accept. They won't accept the old paper one. And it's going to be, they have to be enrolled full time already, and or with accommodations for reduced course load. And first come, first served. And Blaylock's closed, side note. And I don't think there'll be an honor dorm. So I think it's just based on availability for the dorms.
And is Winona getting turned into the freshman dorm?
That part I don't remember. Does anybody remember what they may have mentioned?
And
might have-
are they doing roommates?
I think Winona was for women and Pokey was for the men. And sports people were towards OK Hall. But the amount of people, the numbers has really changed. You know, they're going to, and even this can change, you know, if it's freshmen that are coming in on campus and seniors being in on campus. And any of those words, you know, can change because they don't, we're still trying to come up with a plan. You know, housing is supposed to have that plan. If students are going to be in single rooms or within part of their teammates as to be their safe bubble. So the numbers are very low for availability.
Yeah, I just think people are panicking now because we're July tomorrow.
Sure.
and
As they should
no
be.
housing answers.
Lori, did you say the exact same thing?
I said, as are we.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know nothing.
Yeah.
We know nothing. So what I just heard from Laura, I wrote down. So thanks a lot, Laura, for sure. I mean, hopefully everybody will have more information on all of that, what's happening with fall soon, very soon.
Hopefully.
Is Tanya Salvini the housing administrator?
Well, she's a supervisor who's over the housing supervisor.
Yeah, that's how I got my place when I first got there. They said, go talk to her. And I went straight to her and she gave me an application over the desk and I filled it out. And
yeah, I know that's happened in the past quite a few times with different students, but I just don't, I think that, I mean, just like Laura said, now they've got a new link to a new form. So we're not sure what that's going to look like or how that's going to play out. But I suspect that that will be very last minute, maybe. But hopefully, like Laura said, within the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to disseminate that information so everybody has it and we'll know what's going on. So, yeah.
Do you know if Haskell, you have to have your shots? Is it like mandatory to have your shots to come back?
Oh, the vaccinations? I don't know.
No, it's not. I wish it was different.
Okay, just the regular mandatory shots, the to get in.
Meningitis.
I wish no one received COVID money until they have their shots.
Uh-oh, Carrie, you broke up there, but I think what Carrie was saying is one of the things they're thinking about is having an incentive where if you do get your immunization, you get more funding, like for the COVID or American Relief Act
That was
funding.
probably good.
Oh my God, what happened? Did I?
I think Carrie froze.
Okay,
No, I'm just holding
on the whole thing.
still.
I'm like, oh my God, I shut
You
the-
are not.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carrie, you're breaking up that we can't hear what you're saying. But can you?
Oh man, she's a robot again.
That Haskell internet.
One bar.
I was thinking the same
No,
thing.
it's for
Oh. Well,
sorry, one bar. One
So
bar.
are basically all the science classes online because of Sequoia not going to be ready?
Science and math. Those instructors
math.
don't even have offices right now, which I just learned like a couple days ago.
wow. Okay. Anybody else have any questions or anything they want to add?
Where are you guys moving at in Stidham Hall? Are you down below by the finance or?
Trio is in finance.
We're in,
Oh, you guys are right
Trio
in
was
finance.
in
Oh.
financial aid. We kicked them out.
Oh,
Evicted them.
where did they go?
They didn't pay
Are-
their Pell. Hey,
Are all of those movement changes going from the previous administration gonna stick?
I don't know.
yeah, that we don't know either. We don't know our housing status either. I'm gonna try to make this place as homey as possible so they won't want to move us.
Same.
Get all our art up and all that.
Yeah.
And they got all the advisors all situated?
No.
No.
Let me give you an honest answer. No, sorry, they don't.
Oh.
So if
Right.
anyone needs help with classes, feel welcome to send them my way. I'm trying to do as many degree checklists this month as July as I can.
Well, that's good information there.
Yeah,
And
send
then-
me anybody.
Okay. So like if I needed a final degree checklist, you or anybody else could pull it up for me and zoom
Yeah.
it with me.
If you need an official one, go to the registrar, email the registrar.
Okay. Do I have to have an address for them or fax number to to KU? They want an official transcript and official.
Let me put the
document.
transcript link in there. Here, hold on a sec.
Okay.
Are you applying?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I told you I'm accepted to KU. Yes.
What are you gonna do?
Well, I applied for the ISP.
Yes.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Working under Joseph Brewer. So,
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
You're gonna love it.
Nice.
If you
Yeah.
need anything, ask Brandy. Brandy will hook you up.
Okay. Yes. Oh, she's my favorite. We've been chatting and calling. Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And Laura. I think there's Laura Cheney.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
The graduate advisor
I've
there.
been-
All right.
Oh, okay.
So it's good.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
was waiting to tell you guys. But yeah.
Good. All right. If nobody has
Yeah.
anything else, it's after 6, so we don't want to keep everybody waiting. Just one thing that I wanted to mention was the Linda Houston scholarship is due in 2 weeks. And if you know anyone that's going to be living off campus that has children, please direct them to our Facebook page. I've got it pinned to the top. That's a really good scholarship. It's like $750 a month in expenses that you can get as long as you're enrolled at Haskell. And then also the HERS program is doing a poster presentation in town on Friday from 10 to 2. So we have, I think there's maybe 5 Haskell folks in that program. So if you're in the area, go up and support them and their research and encourage them. So if nobody has anything else,
thank you everyone for being here. Good seeing you guys.
Yeah, nice to see y'all. Finish strong.
Thank you for our special speakers, Laura and Carrie. We appreciate y'all and appreciate everybody who came to our session today. Thank you so much.
Right. See y'all.
Bye, everybody.